So, welcome back to another episode of the Chemical Curiosities. Today, I have a question for you as to why milk spills off when we pour it slowly into another container. As you can see right over there, the milk spills. But if we pour it fast enough, so it does not spill, it just goes directly straight into the cup. But if we pour it slowly, well, it falls down. This is my question to you. Why does this thing happen? Why does milk spills when we are pouring it into the container? Just think about it. So here is the second question. If you take a raw egg, which wobbles, it has that liquid content in it. And if you spin it, like I am doing, it spins perfectly okay. But here comes the catch. If you spin it, and then if you stop it, it rotates again, it spins again. See this? I am spinning it, stopping, and it spins again. Why is this happening? I'm spinning it, stopping, it's again spinning. Why is any of this happening? So this is my question to you. Just think about it. Why is it spinning again? Now, the answer to both of these questions is simple. It's because of inertia. Now, both of these questions are actually a lot related. Both of them are due to inertia. Now, in order to understand inertia, we first need to understand Newton's first law of motion. So Newton said that any object continues to be in a state of motion or in a state of rest unless an unbalanced force acts upon it. Now, what I mean by this is, for example, there's a car and the car is moving. So that moving car will continue to move unless an unbalanced force acts upon it, and which we have, that's friction. So if a car is moving, well, it has to stop because of the frictional force, gravitational force, and various other forces. So from this first law of motion, Newton derived another term called inertia. It's nothing but the tendency of an object to resist a change in its state of motion or rest. I'll explain you the example of the above two questions. Okay, first let's take the example of these two, this question. So what's happening is that when I'm pouring the liquid in there, in the other cup, so this liquid has a tendency, since it's at rest, so it has a tendency to be at the state of rest. It doesn't want to move. So when I'm moving it, so some of the water particles want to stay over there. That's why they spill. But if I move this liquid very fast right into the container, the inertial force will just break out. I'll be able to overcome the inertia of the water particles like this by directly going into the cup. Okay, so here's with reference to the second case. How is inertia possible in this case? So when I'm rotating it, so the inner liquid, as I said, it's a raw egg, so there's some liquid, some protein inside it in form of liquid. So that is also moving. And since it's moving, the center of gravity keeps on changing. Yeah, as I'm moving it, the center of gravity keeps on changing. And so when I'm moving it, now the inside liquid has a tendency to stay in the state of motion. So what's happening is when I'm moving it, they're moving and they have a tendency to stay in the state of motion. But when I stop it, they still have the tendency to rotate again in the state of motion. That's why it's not the outer portion of the egg which is moving. It's actually the inside liquid which is helping it to move. See, I'm rotating it, I stop it. So it's the inside liquid which is making it move. If you try the same thing with a raw egg, it will not happen because a raw egg does not wobbles. The center of gravity remains constant at the center. So if a raw egg, if you do it like this, well, if you stop it, it will not rotate again because there's no internal inertial forces which is acting upon it. So thank you everyone. I hope you like this. I hope you learned something, and I'll meet you in the next video.